Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Destiny and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to go ahead and start working with filtering products by prices. And this one, all we're going to be doing is dragging some sliders up and down based on whatever price we want. And we're going to filter the product automatically. So to make sure to drop a like on this video, consider subscribing, as it really mean the world to me. And also if you want to get the template and the source code I will be using, check out the first link in the description below to get started to get in the template. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to open up my code editor as usual, and I'm going to minimize this a little bit. It's actually beginning to cause a nuisance, and I want to close up some of this tabs over here. It's beginning to get a little bit crowded over here and busy. So now when all this is done, I'm going to open up my browser, and this is what we worked on from the last video, right? Now I'm going to open up my e-commerce platform, and what we're looking for is the filter product by price. So that's what we're looking for. Now this one says create range inputs in templates. So we need to go ahead and create a range inputs in this template, and this is how it's going to be looking, right? Now all this are already done for you. You don't need to stress yourself again. All you need to do is just grab onto the template and everything is already there for you. Okay, so now what we need to do is just make this look the way we want, and we are done. So I'm going to open up the product list. So I'm going to open up product list, and now whenever you are opening up product list, you want to be explicit with one you open, because now we've got two. We've got the one in the async and we've got the one in the core. So we want to open up the one in the core. Okay, and now this is what we are looking for over here: a slider. And now we need to look for by price. So I'm simply going to come over here, Control F, and I'm going to search by price. So as you can see over here, we don't have anything. So that means there is actually a problem. Now I'm just going to untick that. So this is by price. Now we got this slide range thing over here. I'm going to comment that out. Get back here, let's refresh. Now that's gone. So what I want to do is just go ahead and type out range. Okay, that's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to open up inputs, and in the type I'm going to put in range over there. Now let's refresh this. So what do you notice? This is how this is looking, right? Pretty cool. But I don't want it to look this way because that doesn't look cool to me. I want it to look my own way. So what I'm going to do is, I've already written some CSS that we're going to be using for this. What I'm going to do is just grab and paste it in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab the CSS. Okay guys, so what we're pretty much going to do is open up the e-commerce platform backend. And as you can see over here, I've provided you guys with the CSS code. All you need to do is just copy the CSS code, and we're going to paste it. So you could go through this real quick. There's no big deal there. But since this is not a CSS course, that's why I'm not going to be going up into this. I'm just going to be pasting this code. But take note, this code has nothing to do with functionality. This code is for styling. Okay, so take note, we can also work with this. There is no problem. If you don't want to work with my own styling, you can work with your own. This is going to be it over here, and everything is going to work exactly the same way. Okay, but I just want to make mine look somewhat good. That's why I want to add the styling. Okay, so over here at the top, I'm just going to open up head section, and I'm going to paste the CSS thing that I copied, and over here I'm going to refresh. Now what do you notice? This is what I have. So this is what I wanted before, and now I created it using the CSS, as simple as that. So now we need to go ahead and get rid of all this or these things that we've got over here. I don't need those, because what we're going to be using is a slider. I think that's more better, right? So you slide to whatever price you want and just click a filter button, and it's going to get the products for you. Simple as that. So one more time, I'm going to search for by price, and this is what I want to get rid of. I'm just going to get rid of all this. I think I'm gonna get rid of from here to here. Get rid of that. Now let's refresh this. That's how it's looking. Great. Now I'm gonna open up a button in here, and I'm gonna say filter, and let's refresh this one more time. So that's what we have, the filter button. So we're gonna add just CSS classes to the button to make it look great, because as you can see right now, it's obviously not looking great. So come over to your price, filter by price thing. Now as you can see, we created an input range. Take note, we're still going to be working with some things that we're going to be adding in the max, the main, all that cool stuff. But for now, I just want to go ahead and create the button also. So I want to look for the button, and this is it over here. So I'm just going to copy these two things over here. This class is, that's what I want to copy, and I just want to put it as a class into this button. So I'm going to paste that in there. Okay, now I'm going to refresh this. Okay, what do you notice? This how the button looks. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, pretty cool. Now another thing that we're going to be needing is an input, and that one is simply going to have a type of number. So actually what I'm going to be doing now is going with my step-by-step guide, because I'm not using that. So you guys notice we created a range input, right? We gave it a type of range. Now we need to give it an ID of range, and I'm going to be showing you guys why we needed all this. Okay, so over here we gave it a name. I'm just going to call the name range. We gave it type range. We give it an ID. We're going to call the ID range, and we could go ahead and give it a max 0 and min 0. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say min 0, and I'm going to give it a max 0. Okay, now what this is going to do is when we refresh this now, the beginning from over here is going to be 0, and all the way to the, okay, why is this not loading up? There's a problem over here. Let me get rid of every other thing that I've added, the name, the ID, the thing. I'm just gonna get back here and refresh this. Okay, let's see if that works now. So this is working, but when we add up the ID range min 0, it seems not to work any longer. So that's what the problem is. ID range, I'm just gonna remove the name, and I'm gonna give it a class of slider range. Okay, so slider range. Take note, all this slider range, ID range, min, max, no functionality yet. We're just trying to start up this so we could use it to do something. Okay, but right now, as you can see, it's not working, so we need to go ahead and fix this. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So over here, we're having this problem that's making this not to slide. That's because we need to make this 100. So when it's in min 0, max 0, that means it's going nowhere, right? How about we say something like min 0, max 20, then what is going to go from over here to here is going to be 20. So later we're going to be confirming that. I'm going to show you guys that, but for now I'm going to say min 0, max 100, as simple as that. Okay, so now when we've done this, remember we are working with the e-commerce backend thing. Now we also want to go ahead and get something. So what that is, before we get that, we're going to create an input with a type of number. Now let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna get down here, and actually I could do that down here. So I'm going to create an input with a type of number, and I'm going to get here and refresh this. Okay, this is how it's looking. Great. Now I'm going to get back to my e-commerce thing. We give it an ID of max price. Okay, so I'm going to give this an ID over here. I'm going to call it max_price. Now I want you guys to stick along with everything that's going on. I'm still going to be explaining. Now we're just giving IDs and names. Just follow along, and we give it an ID of this. Now if you want, you could give it this class. It's not compulsory. I'm just gonna leave that. I'm gonna give it a min 0, max 100, just like what we've done before. So I'm gonna say min should be 0 and max should be what? 100. Okay, and now we could leave the value. We don't need anything for that yet. You could give it a placeholder if you want. I'm gonna give it a placeholder, and I'm gonna call this current price. And we already have type number. Now what I simply want to do is this. I want to go ahead and get whatever value that is over here. I want to show it in this box. Now let me explain what I mean. So let's say when I slide all the way to here, I'm at 30 whatever dollars or whatever. I want to show it over here 30, and as I slide up, I want to automatically increase this without even coming over here to type anything. So how do we do that? From over here, you can see that we use this on input thing. Now what I'm going to do is in the inputs, name is range, blah blah. We can stick with the name range. It doesn't mean anything, doesn't do anything actually. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look for on inputs. So there is a lot of these functions. There is on blur, there is on click, there is on inputs, and it's totally up to you whatever one you want to use. But for now, I want to use on inputs. Okay, so what on inputs is going to do for now is whatever is it I will type into this max price, it's automatically going to pre-fill it in there, or vice versa. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to say on input should be equal to max price and max_price. Then what do we want to do? We want to get the value of max price, and we want to say it should be equal to this dot value. Do you understand? If you don't, I'm going to come over here, I'm going to refresh this, and I'm going to show you guys what that actually does. So now you see we get the value of this, we get the value of this range. Now the value might be 41, 42, 45. Now whenever we slide this, we automatically impute the value into that place. Okay, this is cool, right? Now this is what I was trying to tell you guys. When you pass in minimum 0, it's going to be that. When you pass in maximum 100, it's going to be this. So based on whatever you add over here, that's what you're going to get. But now the bad side of this is that when we get back to 10, why don't this automatically get down here like this? Does that seem cool? We want to automatically increase the slider whenever we type something over here, right? That's going to be one cool thing that we're going to be doing over there. But how do we actually achieve that? Now that's going to be pretty easy. Let's do that. We're going to be using on key up. Okay, so on key up pretty much detects when a number or blah 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 is pressed on your keyboard. Let's say when FGH, any alphabet is pressed, it's gonna detect it. Now on key up, what do we want to do? We want to say range. So this range over here is the ID range that we passed in here. We grabbed onto the ID. Now we'll say range dot value should be equal to this dot value. Okay, I think I didn't explain this, what this does. I didn't explain the meaning of this and value. I'm going to explain that. Let's just check out if this works first. So now what do you notice? It's working, right? So as you can see over here, I don't need to slide them. All I need to do is just change up a couple of things over here. And as you can see, it's working perfectly well. So let me explain what's going on. Now, this dot value is pretty much whatever value we passed in here. It's pretty much going to grab whatever value is it that we have typed in here. Let's say it's 35, then it's automatically going to add it as the range 35. Okay, hopefully you guys understand. That's the best way I could explain that. Now from over here, as you can see, we've done the on input thing, we've done the range, we've done all this. Now we need to get the minimum and maximum price of all products, and we're going to be adding this in the context processor so we can be able to access it in all our templates, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. Let's go ahead and do that. Now I want to simply get back to my I'm going to get back to my context processor. I think I've got that at the top. So over here we need to get the minimum and the maximum price of all the products. So I'm gonna call that, I think what I call it over here is min max price. So I'm gonna say min underscore max underscore price. Now you can call that one whatever you want. Should be equal to what? Now we're going to be using aggregate to get the max and the minimum price. So how do we do that? Now I'm going to say this should be equal to product dot object. Then we're going to use dot aggregate. Okay, so the aggregate. Now we need to import min and max. So I'm going to say from Django.db.models I want to import min, and I also want to import max. Okay, so if you don't know how to import that, this is it over here. Just make reference to this. That's why I gave it to you guys already. So over here we got the min max price, and we want to aggregate, get the min and get the max. So how do we do that? Now I'm going to start with the min, and for this one I'm simply going to pass in price, and I'm also going to get the max, and for this one also I'm going to pass in price also. Okay, so now this price thing that we're passing in is pretty much coming from over here. So now you could play with whatever field you want over here. You could get the old price, you could play with the image, you could play with the title. Well, I just want to get the minimum and the maximum price. That's why I passed in price and price over here in quotes, because this is a method. Okay, and this is not a variable but a field. So pass that in, and over here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pass in the min max price into this dictionary, and we should be able to access this now in all our templates. So if we get to the product list, and now what we simply want to say is okay, let's do this firstly before we even see any other thing. Just below the filter I'm gonna create a h3 tag, and I'm gonna paste this min max thing. Remember, that's what I passed in here. So I just copied it and pasted it. Now you should see the minimum and the maximum price. Okay, so as you can see, the minimum price is $5, and the max price is $199. So if you don't understand that, I'm just gonna get back here, and I'm gonna get back to the product, and let's try looking at that. So now what do you notice? This is the lowest price, and this is the highest price. So now that's great, right? Because it's getting the minimum and the maximum price for us, which means we could use that to do something, right? Yeah. So now what we want to do is simply go ahead and replace the minimum 0, maximum 100 with the min max price 10. So over here in the range, remember that we added 0 for the mean. But instead of doing this, what we could do now is go ahead and add in mean max price dot, then this time around we're going to say price underscore underscore max. So what is this going to do? Now, if you take a close look, you're going to see that's what, okay, this one is even supposed to be mean because that's the minimum. So remember from the last video where I talked to you guys about field lookup and I said you could use underscore underscore to look up field. That's the same way we used price over here to get the minimum. So remember that this min max price 10 is what we passed in over here. That gave us from over here, that gave us this. Now, in order to go ahead and get just one of this, which is the 5 or the 100 for the min, for the min or the max, what we're going to do is this. So hopefully you could see price underscore underscore min over here, which gets 5. So that's pretty much what we have over here. Okay, now there is also price underscore underscore max, which is going to get the max price. That's what we're simply going to put in the max. So hopefully you guys are beginning to understand everything that's going on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to scroll and I'm going to paste that in here. And also the same thing that we've done, now we're still going to go ahead and do it in here. So I'm going to paste this in here also. And for the mean, I'm also going to paste the same thing, but change up all this. This one now is going to be max. This one is going to be max. Then these other ones are going to be mean. Okay, guys, that's pretty much it. So now if we refresh this, this is what we've got over here. Now we could say 54. See, if we get to 555, as you can see, it's gotten to the end already, which means that that's the highest product that we got. So you see, when we scroll to the top, it stops at 100. When we get down here, to stop at 5, because that's the most minimum price that we've got. Hopefully you guys are getting the gist of what's going on. So another thing that I would like to do is to go ahead and display the from $5 to $100 from the most minimum price to the maximum price. Okay, so that's what I want to do over here. I'm going to be doing that here. So from minimum to what? Maximum. So I'm going to change this to max. So hopefully you guys are understanding what's going on. As you can see, from 5 to 100.999. But does this look great to you? No, this doesn't look great. Now, how do you go ahead and fix this? So remember I talked to you guys about this float format thing from before, where you could go ahead and fix float formats. This is it over here. Now I'm gonna use min max price dot price mean, then I'm gonna go with float format 2. So I'm gonna go with float format and I'm gonna go 2, and that's because I just want to get only the 2 decimal places, which is going to be 199, and I want to do the same thing for the, I think that's one is going to be for the mean also over here. I'm going to do that for the mean. Okay guys, that's pretty much it. Now hopefully you guys know that this is what we're working with. Now as you can see, we've fixed up all this and everything is looking perfectly great. Now this is the button that we're supposed to do now, but we've done that before, and yeah, that's it. And another thing that we're going to do is go ahead and add the default value for the number input. So by now all it's just have is the current price, but we want to add the lowest price down here. So how do we do that? Actually I'd want to follow this so you guys will see how to follow it. But what we're going to do is the input that has the type number, this is it over here. We simply want to go ahead and add this in for the value. Okay, so you could just copy this if you want, or you could just type it out. It's totally up to you. So input type number, I'm gonna look for the value. Where are you? So okay, there are no value yet. I'm just gonna go ahead and type our value, and I'm gonna paste this down here. Okay, I think we already even copied the value, so we could just paste it down here and everything should work perfectly well. So now if we get back here and refresh, I think yeah, that's gonna be that problem. Let's get rid of this minimum. I'm gonna get rid of the minimum, and let's refresh this. Okay, what do you notice? We got $5 there, right? So now when we scroll, we get to the top. When we scroll down, we get to 5. Okay, that's pretty cool, I'd say, right? Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. Now let's get back here and see what we want to do again. So I think that's pretty much it for that section. Now the next thing is going to be to set the range value to the minimum price. Okay, so now what do you notice? If we come over here and refresh, by default it's at the middle. Does that make any sense? No, because this price over here is at the lowest, right? The one in the input is at the lowest. Why is this one at the middle? If it's supposed to be at the middle, it's supposed to be around 50, right? Yeah, it's supposed to be 50 or 52 or so. But why is the one in the input showing 5 and the one in the range showing at the middle? That doesn't make any sense. So we need to change that up. Now what we're simply going to do is go ahead and look for the value. We're going to look for the inputs, type range, class this, Now I'm simply going to get to the range, and what we're going to place in there is this value thing. So just copy the value, look for the range, and just add it over there. So I'm gonna search for value, and I'm gonna paste that. Okay, so with this out of the way, I'm gonna refresh. Okay, that's still not showing up there, so I think there is a problem. Let's go ahead and see how we do this over here. Input, type range, ID range. So if you take a close look here, then you see that there is a couple of complications that we've got. For example, we've got two columns over there which code signs, which doesn't make any sense, and we've got two values which also doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to get rid of all that, and I'm going to refresh this. Now what do you notice? We got this down here. So as you can see, if we try increasing this, and it goes boom up to what we want. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and comment out this main max price thing down here, and that should be it.